Hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Oscar Mikey, and welcome back to another video. Today we got another IRL video, another hardware review. Antlion Audio contacted me and they were like, hey, we got a couple of new products. We got some sequels to some of our old microphones, and we were wondering if you were interested. Maybe we could send out a couple of them to you for like a review or something. And I was like, heck yeah, absolutely, I want to check those out. And I've got them right here. This is the Modmic Uni 2, and this is the Modmic USB 2. And we're going to be reviewing both of those today. But before we do that, I want to get into disclaimers and just the ethics and code of conduct and all that kind of stuff before we get into the review. Antlion Audio did send both of these products over to me for review, but they are not paying me in any way. They are not influencing me positively or negatively to say anything in particular about either one of these products. All thoughts and opinions are my own. So now that that's done, let's get right into the review. So first, why don't we start off with the Modmic USB 2. This thing obviously replaced the USB 1, which came out a little while ago, and they're bringing a few changes to this thing. It's got a single capsule design now instead of a dual capsule, which the original had. It's got a better signal to noise ratio and improved build quality, especially with the cable and like at the stress reliefs and stuff. It terminates into USB-A, but it does come with a little USB-C dongle or adapter that you can use, which is great. It comes with an inline mute button on the cable, and it also comes with a hard shell travel case, which is always a nice inclusion. Here's the actual specifications for the Modmic USB 2. I'm not going to pretend to be an audio engineer because I'm not. I don't really know what a lot of these numbers mean, but for those of you who are into audio and you want to see these numbers, there they are for anybody who's interested. Now, let's get into the Modmic Uni 2. Changes they brought with this thing: they have a high-performance capsule, a new and improved audio capsule. It's got a better signal-to-noise ratio and improved build quality, just like the USB 2. This one also comes with an inline mute switch, but it's actually a switch instead of a button. It's a cheaper kind of like plasticky switch. It terminates in 3.5mm, and this one also comes with a hard shell travel case, which is, again, that's really nice. The overall quality of these products has been stepped up, which is really nice to see, but I think the main draw to Antlion Audio products in particular is their modularity. I'm going to use my headphones and the Modmic wireless as an example. These are my daily driver headphones, my Cooler Master MH751s. I really like these things. They're super comfortable. And I have my Modmic wireless here. So you can see I've put the anchor right here on the left cup of my headphones, and then on the microphone itself, it's got the little magnet on the back with the teeth. So when I'm ready to install the microphone, I just take the microphone itself and I line up the teeth on the headset itself where the anchor is, drop it on, and it sticks there and it stays, and it's pretty secure. You can wear this thing and you can like turn your head, go up and down, and it stays in place really well. And the new microphones are going to work pretty much exactly the same, only they're going to have a cable coming out of them. This one is wireless, which is really nice. I use this for VR a lot. Well, that's just a brief overview of these two products. Let's bring them over to the desk now and we'll get into the juicy stuff. We'll get into the unboxings and the audio quality testing. Okay, here we are at the desk. First up, why don't we do the Modmic Uni 2? This is the box. It's a pretty good looking box. It's got all the information you need there. Upgraded microphone, flexible steel boom, inline mute. It is a switch, not a button. Universal 3.5mm input, powerful magnetic clasp. So that's how you mount it to stuff. I do have a knife, but I don't think I'll need it for this. Just this tear off at the back. Ooh. Okay. So we got our carrying case, Antlion. Very nice. Inside the box, we got nothing else. That's it. I guess everything's in the case. Everything is in this tiny little case. I like it when they give you these carrying cases. That's a nice little inclusion. Inside, we have the microphone right there. And we've got all the accessories up top. This is a very similar presentation to how the Modmic wireless came to me. We'll take out the microphone and the cable and we'll just look at the accessories first. This is a little awkward to get out. The carrying pouch is like almost the exact same length as the microphone. There we go. Okay, there we go. There's the microphone. I'm going to set that aside just for now. And if we look inside here, we've got a little bit of paperwork, Modmic Uni 2 installation. This is just a little, quick start guide, installation instructions, all that stuff. Throw that away. And here we've got our little packet of accessories. So they include this with the Uni and the USB. You get an alcohol wipe, so you can clean off the surface that you plan on installing this on. And you get your anchor plus an additional 3M sticky pad and some cable like ties that you can use to tie off the microphone to your headphones if you have a wired headset, so that everything kind of like stays together and nothing, it's like less cables flopping around. It's all tied together and secure. That's really nice. Let's get this out of the way and we'll look at the microphone itself. I never actually bought or used the Modmic Uni 1 so I can't make any like direct comparisons as far as build quality goes. Feels pretty solid. It actually doesn't feel like it has much give to it. You can bend it a little, but it feels very sturdy actually. Feels surprisingly sturdy. And actually you get another anchor here. You get the anchor that came in the accessory pack is an extra. So you get 2 of them. And they just snap on just like that. Boom. They are keyed. They've got these little teeth, so it holds in place wherever you put it on your headset. Just like that. And this is the microphone capsule. It comes pre-installed with some foam to avoid those like plosive sounds, to get like those rushes of air. You want to avoid that as much as possible. And it feels like a pretty big capsule. I'm not talking to you with either of these microphones right now. I'm talking to you with my desktop microphone. This is my streaming and YouTubing setup. And then we have the cable. Cable feels pretty standard. There's nothing really special about it. It's like a rubberized kind of straight cable. Here's the little switch for the mic mute. It is a switch, it's not a button. Feels fine. Feels just kind of like your typical plastic housing mute switch type deal. And then the rest of the cable is right here. I don't know how long this is. I'm going to look it up and I'm going to put it on the screen right here so you guys know how long this cable is. But yeah, that's pretty much everything you get with the Modmic Uni. Let's move on to the Modmic USB 2. This is the one I'm more excited about because I think just the way this one is with the USB, you're getting a little more power to the capsule. Again, I'm not an audio engineer. I don't really know my stuff about this, but I think this one is probably going to sound a little bit better. And here's the box. I like the blue. You guys know I'm a fan of blue. Upgraded microphone, flexible steel boom, digital mute. It's a digital mute, so this is actually a button, and I think this is just going to be higher quality than the one on the Uni. USB-A termination, but it does come with a USB Type-C adapter right there for you, and it's got the magnetic clasps as well. So, why don't we get into this one? This one's going to need a knife, or maybe not. Just peel these off. Okay, let's give this a tear. And inside, very similar deal. We've got carrying pouch. This one feels different actually. The Uni is like a faux leather kind of smooth finish, and then the USB is like a textured kind of like fabric finish. They're the same size though, different finish. Okay, let's open this thing up. This is going to be the USB. There it is. I can already tell just by opening up the package, it looks like a much more substantial microphone. Like this part here looks thicker. I'm gonna take the microphone out. We'll look at that in just a second. Here's the cable. There's your USB cable. There's our little dongle, our USB-C dongle. Got some paperwork here. Here's our accessory pack. So the microphone itself does have an anchor on it already. But here's the accessory pack. We get an alcohol prep pad. We get a couple of sticky things, like extra adhesive pads. We get another anchor, and we get a bunch of, we get 5 cable ties. If you're interested, you can buy these in an accessory pack. I'll link that in the description below. If you just want more anchors and like cable ties, you can get those separately. Now the microphone itself. This thing, wow. This feels like an absolute unit. This definitely feels a little bit more premium than the Uni. The boom has kind of a different finish on it. It's like a matte kind of rubberized finish. On the Uni, it's like a glossier, it's thinner, and it's got like a glossier, kind of cheaper, more slick finish. You guys can see that. The USB feels way more substantial. It's just thick, thick in like all dimensions. The boom itself, it's easier to move around actually. It's easier to bend, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna lose its shape. It does feel like, just like the Uni, it feels like it's gonna hold its shape, whatever you do with it. Feels pretty good. You got your pre-installed anchor there. You can take this off, put it on whatever headset you like. The cable itself does feel, it feels pretty identical to the one on the Uni. It is gonna be a tiny bit thicker. The USB is on the right and the Uni's on the left. I think it is a little bit thicker, just a little bit. And we come down here, we have our mute switch. This is, it's a button actually, rather than a switch. And we got our cable here. I'm gonna put the dimensions of this cable too. I'm gonna put the length of it on screen for you guys so you can see it. And we got our Type A USB termination right there. And that's it for the unboxing. That's how these microphones come to you out of the box. Let's get into the sound comparisons. Okay, here we are at the desk. I've got this kind of setup going on. It's a little bit crazy. First of all, I've got my daily driver microphone right here. This is my Shure SM58. It's on a Rode PSA-1 boom arm connected to a Wave XLR and going into my PC through USB. This is my daily driver setup. I use this for recording and streaming, and the Shure SM58 is a classic vocal microphone. It's a standard. It's a gold standard in the industry, and I'm just going to be, for reference, I'm going to be comparing that to both of the Modmics. We've got the Modmic Uni here on my right side, and I've got the Modmic Modmic Uni 2 and the Modmic USB 2 on my left side here. For the purpose of this test, there's going to be no filters, no processing whatsoever. I might boost some of these for just levels and like volume, but that's it. Okay, starting off with the Modmic Uni 2. This microphone, I had some weird issues with it. It was easy to plug in and the computer recognized it right away and all that stuff. So I didn't really have any issues on that front. But in terms of volume and gain and that kind of stuff, it recorded very quiet by default. The volume was really, really low for it when I started my testing. And I went into the Windows volume properties for it, and it was set to 90% gain or 90% volume, but it also had a 10 decibel boost added to it. Kind of strange, and it was recording very quiet with those settings. So what I did is I went in and I brought that 90% volume up to 100%, and then I added another 20 decibels of gain to bring it up to kind of like a listenable volume. Those numbers seem kind of extreme. You may have to tinker with that a little bit on your system. I don't know how different it's going to be, like system to system. That's just what I had to do on my rig. And just for reference, this is how the Modmic Uni 2 sounded out of the box. I put the settings back to normal, the way they were when I first set it up, and this is what it was sounding like. It's very quiet, right? So for the rest of the test, I'm just going to boost it back up, and we're going to listen to it just like that. That's really the only issue that I had with the overall microphone sound quality, but there is another issue that I have with this microphone. It's the mute switch on it. So both the Modmic Uni 2 and the Modmic USB 2 have mute switches that are inline. They're in these little control boxes in the built into the cable. First thing, they're a little bit high up on the cable, so it's hard to see them when you glance down, when you look down and you're trying to figure out, oh, am I muted or not? If they were installed a little bit lower on the cable, so it was easier to just like glance down and see them and see if your microphone is muted or not, I think that would be really nice. That would be way better than having them where they are right now, because this is just a little bit too high in my opinion. But the issue with the mute switch on the Modmic Uni 2 is that it's like a physical toggle switch instead of a button. So whenever you toggle this mute switch, it's going to give you this crackle, this like snap pop sound in the recording or in the microphone, and you'll be able to hear it on the other end. So I'm just going to engage the mute switch right now, and you should be able to hear that sound whenever I toggle it on and off. It's not the best. It's not really ideal, but this microphone is a little bit more budget. They had to cut some costs in some places, so I kind of understand. It is what it is. Now, getting into the sound quality of this microphone, I was actually pleasantly surprised by the Modmic Uni 2. I was expecting something, honestly, a lot worse, but they did an amazing job with it. It's not really anything exciting. It sounds very flat and neutral. Not much detail in the high end, not much richness in the low end, just kind of flat across the board. But overall, there's nothing that really offends me about it. For the price that they're selling this for, I mean, I can't really complain. Like, you could probably connect this up to your computer and EQ it to make it sound a lot better. Just add a little bit in the sub bass region and then add a little bit of sparkle in the high end and it'll sound a lot better. But right out of the box, the tone of this microphone is really inoffensive and flat and neutral, and I actually really like it. I think they really nailed the tone of this thing. Okay, now moving over to the Modmic USB 2. I didn't have any issues with gain or volume or anything like that out of the box with the USB 2. This one was actually, it was really just straight up just plug and play. I plugged it into the computer. Drivers installed automatically. You don't need any third-party software with either one of these microphones, so that's a nice thing. Comparing the mute switch on this one versus the Uni 2, this is a button. It's not a physical toggle switch. It's like a digital button. So you hit it and it will light up red telling you that you're muted. And then I tap it again. The light goes off and you should be able to hear me again. This is a much better system in my opinion. You don't hear, there's no like pops or crackles whenever you hit this button. I really like this solution way better than the one on the Uni 2. This is a way better mute switch for sure. It's connecting via USB and it's got a little bit of extra power to work with to send to the capsule, and it makes the pickup better. You get a better signal. There's no volume issues, and there's like some low end oomph in this microphone. And honestly, the Modmic USB 2 sounds a lot closer to like being a better imitation of like a full-fledged like vocal recording setup, like kind of like this, what I've got here with my Shure SM58. I'm sure if I EQ'd this and put some compression on it and all that, I could make it sound very similar to something like this, and maybe trick a lot of my listeners into thinking that I'm using something much higher quality than I actually am. Now, with all that being said, what would I use these microphones for? If I was a little bit more budget conscious, if I was somebody maybe, like if I was a gamer and I was looking for a way to communicate with my teammates in like a competitive FPS or something like that, I need comms. I need to talk to my teammates. But I don't really want to swap out my headphones. I don't want to pick up a whole nother gaming headset. I just need the microphone. I think I might go for this. This is a really good option when you fix those volume issues, when you get that boosted in your Windows settings. You know, it sounds nice and even. Your volume levels are sorted out. It's a nice and flat sound. It's not distracting. It's got that kind of neutral tone where nothing is like overpowering the other thing or whatever. It sounds nice and flat. It's easy to understand when you're speaking into it. Now, if my budget's a little bit higher and I'm willing to pay a little bit more for some extra quality, Modmic USB 2. It's got overall better build quality, and especially the mute switch, this thing is way better. It's really distracting when you go to mute your microphone and then you're hearing all these cracks and pops and stuff. It's really, really not good. At least to me, it's really distracting. It is going to depend a little bit on like what kind of voice do you have, but overall, I think this thing is going to be a lot more flattering to a lot more people's voices rather than this one. And here's one more audio test with the microphones, but without me wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask right now. You're just going to have to take my word for it. I'm not really ready to do like a full face reveal on the channel just yet. But honestly, they both sound really great. I think they're a little bit more susceptible to plosives. Plosives are when like a rush of air comes out of your mouth and like goes directly into the microphone capsule and makes that kind of whooshing of air sound. The microphones are sitting about like 2 to 2.5, maybe 3 inches away from my mouth. They're both like equal distant away from my mouth. But as far as sound quality and tone goes, they still sound really good. Let me know what you guys hear in the comments, but to my ear, the Uni 2 sounds a little bit flatter, and the USB 2 sounds like it has just a little bit more oomph in it, just a little bit more low end. As far as these two microphones go, I have a lot of really positive things to say about them. I'll admit I was a little bit worried about the Modmic Uni 2. I was afraid it was going to be kind of, honestly, a subpar quality sounding microphone. I'm really honestly pleasantly surprised by the quality of the Uni 2. It sounds nice and neutral. It sounds actually pretty good. Once you get past those volume issues, you may have to go into Windows settings and give it a little bit of a boost to get the levels up to where you want it. Also, that mic mute switch is a little bit finicky. It's a hardware like toggle switch, and it's not the greatest quality. I mean, it feels a little bit plasticky, but you know what? It is what it is for the price. You can't really complain all that much. The Modmic USB 2 is a higher quality option. It just feels like a more robust product. The boom arm is thicker and feels more substantial. The cable is thicker and feels more substantial. And this wasn't part of my earlier recordings, but here is a sample of the Modmic USB running off of my Galaxy S21 Ultra. It is connected via USB-C right here, and quality seems pretty dang good, you know? Anyways, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you found this video interesting or helpful, please leave a like on it. It really helps me with my YouTube algorithm overlords and growing the channel and getting us discovered and all that. And if you're new to the channel, maybe consider getting subscribed too for more content like this, because I have a hunch. I don't know anything for sure. I haven't heard anything official, but I think they might be doing a refresh of the Modmic wireless. And I'm gonna be sending some emails. I really would like to review that product as well. Hopefully we get the Modmic wireless too soon. But thanks again, guys. I really do appreciate you, and I'll talk to you in the next video.